We've all been taught to fear failure, right? To avoid it no matter what. But what if that's actually the worst advice you could possibly get? Today, we're going to break down a really powerful speech by Denzel Washington that completely flips that idea on its head, all about risk, failure, and finding what you're really meant to do. So, this is really the heart of it all. Denzel's whole argument is that a life lived in the safe zone, well, it's a life that's less than what you're capable of. The bottom line, if you want to achieve anything truly meaningful, you have got to take some chances. So, how do we actually start to reframe our relationship with failure? Well, Denzel's first big idea is a concept he calls falling forward. Just think about it for a second. How many times have you heard this? Oh, make sure you have a backup plan. Get a safe degree, something to fall back on. And look, it's usually well-meaning advice. But Denzel, he basically challenges this entire way of thinking. And this is where you can really see the difference. Falling back is all about having that safety net. If you fail, you land somewhere kind of comfortable, but it's usually a place where you've had to compromise. But falling forward, that's about getting rid of the net entirely. Denzel's philosophy is, hey, if he's going to fall, he wants to fall forward, so he can at least see what he's going to hit. It's about embracing the impact and learning from it, not just trying to avoid the pain. Let's be really clear here. Denzel isn't talking about if you'll fail. He's talking about when. It's going to happen. You're going to lose. You will embarrass yourself. You are absolutely going to suck at something. It is a guarantee. And accepting that, well, that's the very first step toward actually using failure instead of just being terrified of it. And really, it's as simple as that. Failure isn't some sign of weakness. It's proof that you're actually in the game. It shows you're pushing your own limits and you're daring to go after something big. So if you're not failing, you gotta ask yourself, are you even really trying? Okay, so you're ready to take some risks, you're ready to embrace failure? Awesome. But how do you channel all that energy? Well, that brings us to the next critical piece. Turning those big, abstract dreams into something you can actually grab onto. It's a simple distinction, but man, is it a powerful one. A dream is just a wish floating around in your head. It only starts to become real when you attach goals to it. Things like discipline, a concrete plan, and just plain consistent hard work. Without that structure, it's always going to be just a fantasy. And here's the thing about achieving those goals. It means you have to be willing to fail spectacularly along the way. To really drive this point home, Denzel gives two fantastic examples of people who were pretty much masters of failure before they became legends. First up, you've got the baseball legend Reggie Jackson. The man struck out 2,600 times. That's the most in the entire history of the sport. But is that what anyone remembers him for? Nope. We remember the home runs. We remember Mr. October. And then there's Thomas Edison. He apparently conducted 1,000 failed experiments trying to invent the light bulb. Think about that. 1,000 times he got it completely wrong. Because in the end, it was that 1,001st try that actually mattered. That single success changed the entire world and defined his whole legacy, which made all those previous failures just necessary steps on the path. That is the power of falling forward. Now, this is where the message pivots. It goes from being about your own personal ambition to something so much bigger. It's not just about what you can achieve for yourself. It's about your purpose and what you contribute back to the world. And that's a huge shift in perspective, right? It doesn't matter if you have a lot or a little. What really, truly matters is how you use your own unique gifts to serve other people. That's where the real fulfillment is. And listen, your gifts aren't just about money or some professional skill. It could be your time, your talent, your patience, your kindness. Every single one of us has something valuable to give. The real question is, what are you going to do with it? To really make this stick, Denzel uses this incredibly powerful visualization. So I want you to just take a second and really picture this. You're at the very end of your life and you're looking back on everything. He says that standing all around your bed are the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential, the ghosts of the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used, and they're angry because you were the only person who could have brought them to life, and now they have to die right there with you. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? So how many ghosts are going to be around your bed? So what if you feel totally lost right now? Or maybe you feel like you've already failed way too many times. Well, this final section shows us why that might be exactly where you need to be. I mean, look at this. This does not look like the resume of a future Oscar winner. Denzel Washington started off as a pre-med student, taking a class he said he couldn't even pronounce, so he switched to pre-law, then to journalism. His grades dropped to a 1.8 GPA until the university politely suggested he take some time off. His path was anything but a straight line.
So there he was, 20 years old, at his absolute lowest point, working in his mom's beauty salon. And an elderly woman who was a customer there, she looks at him and gives him this prophecy. She says, "Young boy, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." I mean, what a wild thing to say to a kid who just flunked out of college, right?
And that's the ultimate lesson of his entire story. Getting kicked out of school wasn't the end for him. It was a forced detour that actually put him on the exact path he was meant to be on. That huge failure gave him the clarity and the direction he desperately needed. And in the end, that's what it all comes down to. Your life isn't defined by some perfect, linear plan you made when you were 18. It's defined by the risks you were willing to take, the unexpected people who show up and guide you, and the faith you manage to hold on to, even when things look really bleak. So what's the single biggest thing to take away from all of this? It's these two words. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't settle for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. Take the risk. Embrace the hit. And when you fall, just make sure you fall forward.